Hey, this is David Thompson, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the third player variant, the competitive German player variant. So technically, you can play the competitive game with just two players. You can play a Soviet versus German game if you wanted to. However, I don't really recommend that. You'd wind up having the Soviet player doing a lot more. Um, it's been just spending a lot more time active than the German player. So really, this is for a third player variant only. I would suggest. So the first thing we're going to do is set up the German player deck. I've already done that. I've got decks 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 set up from left to right. We need to go ahead and add the resupply cards to this. Now, I didn't cover this in detail in the prior videos, but the reason that we shuffle these cards is because they are designated with different avenues of approach, and it's important for the Soviet player not to know where the attacks are going to be coming from, which way they're going to have to initiate the storm group assault, so they can't plan for it. So we shuffle these up. We're going to put one on top of deck 1, 2, and 3, and we're going to get rid of the 3 that we don't use. The other thing that's unique to the competitive variant is we're going to add this one extra card, this extra rifleman, to deck 1. I've already done it. This is just a duplicate just to show you. So he's already in there. And then we're going to stack deck 4, 3, 2, and 1, and we're ready to play. Okay, now the tactics deck. So if you're following the Kickstarter closely, you've seen that we could potentially unlock up to 30 new tactics cards. The intent here is for these to ultimately replace the original tactics deck, and the reason for that is these are more historically linked, and it keeps it mitigates some of the impact of randomness that you can occasionally get in the tactics deck. So hopefully we're able to unlock all of those. I'm not going to include those in the video now, simply because the rules that are available now references the original tactics deck, but I will cover those in a subsequent video. Okay, so we've shuffled our tactics deck. We've got our German deck ready to go. So before the Soviet operational player goes, in the competitive variant, the first thing that happens is the German player has an extra phase in the game called the planning phase. So we're going to flip over 3 tactics cards. We're going to draw them into our hand, actually. This is kept secret by the German player. And 4 cards. So what do we have? We have Stuka Strike, which adds an extra Stuka to each of these cards. We have Recon, which places an extra scout when a scout's placed. And we have Western Flank, which has all of the infantry that are deployed, or actually all of the counters that are deployed. You're rolling and you're rolling 3 dice and placing them in the lowest result. So it basically increases the likelihood that the counters are stacked up in this area. So we're going to pick one of these tactics to have in play. We're going to pick Stuka Strike, and the other 2 remain in our hand. Then we're going to pick 3 of the cards to play. So we're going to take, because we know we have the Stuka Strike, which is going to improve the potency of our Stukas, we're going to take both of these, and let's take the Rifleman, because we're going to keep the Recon card for next time, and we have a Scout here. So the Scout's going to stay in our hand, the Recon card and the Western Flank cards are going to stay in our hand. Then we're going to put these on the board, and we're going to flip them over so that our opponent doesn't see what they are. We are going to, the tactics card doesn't matter, but the actual German cards are stacked in reverse order from the way they'll be played. So the top card is going to be placed first, then the middle card, then the bottom card will be played last. Okay, so now we have our Soviet card phase. So we're going to flip over a few of these. And okay, so as the Soviet player, let's just load up some supplies, and maybe we'll deploy air defenses at a couple of locations. So we'll deploy air defenses here and here. Okay. Obviously, they don't know what's in store for them with this Stuka Strike, but keeping your air defenses up early in the game is always a good idea. Okay, so now that's done. The German player just simply reveals what they've played. So they show that they've played the Stuka Strike Tactics card, and they reveal the first card that they programmed. So the Soviet player gets a chance to respond. they can respond with as many of these tokens as they want. They're going to go ahead and spin them both. So we're going to roll 4 dice to see how many of these Stukas we can defend against. And the result is 2. So 2 of the Stukas, and the reason there's going to be 4 Stukas attacking this because we have Stuka Strike increasing this from 3 to 4. So they defend against 2 of them, so 2 of them make it through, and they are going to target 10 and 9. Okay. And again, we know what's coming here. Another Stuka Strike, or another Stuka card that's bolstered to improve to 3. And now we have no air defenses, so this is going to be pretty rough. So we're going to get 3 attacks in. 12. 14. And that brings in a Fog of War card. And 15, another Fog of War card. So very rough turn for the Soviets. And then lastly, we have a Rifleman. So the Rifleman will just get placed, and it'll get placed on the 3 spot. And then it's the Soviet tactical player's turn. So I won't walk through that. I mean, obviously, if you watch the other videos, you know how that takes place. So that's it. That's what you're adding for the German player. So it may not seem like a lot. I mean, if you think about it, you know, basically what they're doing. Well, I will walk through this. So this is probably obvious, but the cards that were used that turn are discarded. So the Stuka Strike, the Tactics card, gets discarded. These are out of the game effectively, but you can just put them in the discard pile. The cards that we kept remain, and on the next turn we're going to draw 1 new Tactics card, and then 3 new German cards. And so we will do the same thing. We'll pick one of these 3. So maybe this time, we have this Artillery Barrage. That's going to increase the potency of artillery strikes. So we'll go ahead and we'll choose both of these artillery, and maybe we'll keep the Stuka. And so what's going to happen here is we probably want the most powerful cards to go first. I don't know if it really matters. We can just sequence them however we want in this case. Sometimes the sequence is much more impactful if you're trying to achieve an effect before a subsequent card goes. And then sometimes it's not as important. But regardless, you move through that pretty quickly, and it may not seem like a big deal, but you really do have quite a bit of control between synergizing the Tactics cards and the German cards. And as I said before, sequencing of the German cards can sometimes be very important. So the benefit there is that the German player, just like the Soviet card and the Soviet counterphase, move extremely quickly, usually in less than a minute. You have the same resolution speed for the German player. So it doesn't add a lot of time to the game. Okay, so that was an overview of how to play the 3-player variant for the German 3rd player. Thanks for watching.